almost died. And I was like, damn.
Good.
Oh yeah, I forget what it
Ready?
is.
Audio recording.
Okay, sync it all up.
That was in sync, bro.
Sync it all up.
Nice.
Okay, what's up? Welcome to the podcast. I really don't know why I started this, but yeah, we have Jacob Sherwood, my roommate, Micah Oxley, no real connection, we're not even friends, and then Jacob Ettesvold, long-term best friend. Yeah, all their links to their Instagrams and stuff will be in the description of this YouTube video. Let's just make sure everything's recording. Okay, all right, boys, what's up?
Nothing much.
Nothing much.
Just working, just living, you know?
Yeah, living out.
I can't work, so.
All right, so I heard Oxley have something good to talk about.
Oh, yeah. It's a would you rather question.
No.
So, would you rather every time you fart, you time travel, anytime, like you go forwards or backwards, every time you fart, no matter what. You can't control it. It's just a random, like it could be 5 years, it could be 100 years in the future.
Could it be like 10 seconds in the future?
Could be 10 seconds in the future. Or every time you sneeze, you teleport to anywhere in the world besides the sea. You can teleport
Can't
like
go to
anywhere.
sea?
Yeah, like you won't
Sneeze.
teleport in the middle of the ocean.
Gotta go with sneeze.
Wait,
Because,
which was
dude,
which?
You,
Yeah,
you can't go back.
Fart
Like,
and
what if
time
you
travel,
fart?
or sneeze and teleport.
What if you fart and you can't go back to like your normal time?
Okay.
But like
Well-
you could think of it as an adventure too.
A permanent adventure.
Yeah. Wait, so if you fart and you go into like a different time, say I'm like 90 years old and I won't fart for the rest of my life, will I die while I'm like, say I'm like 19 right now
Mm-hmm.
and I fart and I turn 95.
No, you won't age.
You just go somewhere in time.
you're 19
Technically-
and so you jump like 100 years in the future.
No, but technically I am 95.
Yeah.
Well,
I would say,
It'd be
well,
like,
like I low-key like fart while I sleep, so like, where do I go? Am I still sleeping when I wake up or something?
well, I would
you're
say
wake up in like France
I would-
in like
I-
1884.
we can say it like when you're awake. Only when you're awake. Even if it slips out. It's just an accidental little, you're, oh, no, 20 years in the future.
What if you're at your wedding?
Probably
Yeah.
sneeze.
What if you're at your wedding and you just disappear?
No, bro, sneeze because I don't sneeze that
Sneeze.
much. I fart
I
all
don't-
the time.
But the thing is,
And you can
everyone,
make
everyone,
yourself sneeze.
everyone
You
knows,
can make yourself
everyone knows the
sneeze.
powers too, though. Like they're like, oh, every time he farts, he time travels. So it's
No,
kind of a
no.
daily thing.
But it's also like you can't but you can't make yourself fart. But you can make yourself sneeze. Just
I mean,
like snore.
you
a bunch
can't-
of-
you can make
hold
yourself
in
fart.
both if you think about it. But then, like I heard, like
But you
don't-
can't make it. You can't force it.
I can
So-
force a fart.
You can force.
I can't.
I can force a fart, bro.
You can
No,
hold
but-
back a sneeze every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you can't hold it back a fart for the rest of your life. Like you'll die.
So
Pretty
sneeze.
sure you'll-
So sneeze.
I would say
Sneeze.
sneeze just
Which is
because I
which?
can like travel.
You can travel the world. Like
So sneezes travel.
whenever you go
you're-
to a place
you're
where
like, I want to go to
no one
Europe
goes.
and just.
So wait, but you're time
But you don't know where you're
traveling.
going though.
Yeah, I know, but like it could
You
be
could
Europe.
end up like in India.
And if you mess it up, just sneeze again.
True.
But then the time travel one, you don't change locations. So then you pretty much be in space every time.
What do you mean?
Because if you went back in time without changing locations, the place the Earth is at in its orbit, you would be.
Well, like you would stay in this place
Wait,
on Earth.
I don't think it's that deep, but we can make
Well,
it.
I mean, I'm
Going
just.
that deep, bro.
It's
We
going
can,
that
we
deep,
can make
bro.
it that
I don't
literal.
know, like,
we can make it that
Because
literal.
if you're gonna say it only applies this far, you have to draw a line somewhere. That's what I'm just saying. It's
Well,
Yeah, so-
how about the beginning of Earth when it first started? Like you go to that area, sneezing. You can go anywhere in the world. You could get in a crappy situation. You could just be on a fire.
Can I like
Could be in a
can I
firing
like
zone.
teleport to like under the ground? So like when I teleport, I like start suffocating.
No,
No,
you can-
it's
you can
anywhere
teleport
on
in a
land,
mine.
and like same
You
with the
can
fart. Same
Okay,
with the
but like,
farting
what if
thing.
you
like-
teleport like into like a wall? Like
It's
you're
I'm
No,
I'm
you
saying
don't.
like it's not that literal. I'm saying like you sneeze and
You-
I would be
you
like
can-
over
you
there,
can
or I could be in
transport
India,
to a
just in the
mine
middle,
shaft. Like you could be down a mine shaft. But you
anywhere
can't,
that's
like,
livable. Well, not livable, but,
anywhere where you have enough space.
It's not like Minecraft where you, like,
It's not
glitch
really
into
just,
a
like,
tree.
deep asshole.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay, I got a good topic.
Or time travel. Let's just get it over with.
time travel would be
Yeah,
pretty
but it's for
fun.
the
Die
rest of your life,
instantly.
though.
You mean
You
until
can't
I
just, like,
die
get it.
later that day in space?
I mean,
I mean,
well, yeah. Okay. All right,
could time
so
travel to
Sherwood,
Earth is non-existent.
Jacob Sherwood and I.
Oh,
we
you
were-
wrote a lot off. You wrote a lot.
Yeah, dude, I have a ton of notes. So we were at Pita Jungle, which is like a place at our college. We go to Grand Canyon, so like we were just eating, and we were with our other roommate Austin and his girlfriend, and then we were with my girlfriend, and we were talking about our rocks squishy, right?
Oh,
but
yeah.
when we touch them, they turn hard, right?
You guys are actually talking about this?
We talked about this for like 40 minutes probably, and we were sitting outside and we were just talking about like, oh, there's experiments we could do like to test if rocks are squishy, right? So go with that experiment.
It's like a non-Newtonian, or Newtonian. What's it called? It's like the
Newtonian.
Big words.
Newtonian
Yeah, I don't
liquid,
know.
like
I don't know.
object. Because you know there's like the slime thing where you like run on, like it's liquid until someone makes
oobleck.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
in
Oobleck.
science
It's
class
like-
where you squeeze it and it gets hard. And then
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
like-
if you put pressure on it, it's a solid.
But then when you like hold it in your hand, it's just like a liquid.
But
Yeah,
just
and so you
do
can
the
like
rocks,
it can run through your fingers, but if you like
when it
put
goes
pressure
your
into
hand,
it,
it could be a different type of oobleck, but I don't think so.
No, think about it like
Rocks
this.
are
So
hard.
Well, no,
all
let's
the
go
time.
through the whole conversation before we get to
Okay,
the
yeah. So we
conclusion.
were like, well, if you touch a rock, like it's automatically hard. Like you know, you can like touch it and
were
it's
you guys
hard.
all on the same side and explaining it, or like were you
Kind
split?
of. I don't
I-
really remember. It was a while ago. It was
I
probably like
said
a week and a
no.
half ago.
But Austin was like, "Well, we don't know. We don't know."
No, so what we were saying
Awesome.
was,
That's what I said.
since it's touching the ground, it's technically hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's touching the ground, which means that like nothing, as long as something's touching it, it's hard.
I mean, air could be touching it too. There's always air
Okay,
resistance.
that's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And then what did you
Is-
say about that?
Well, I
Another
said-
thing. Is air poison? 'Cause-
Okay, that's a
Well,
different
that's
topic.
different
I have
topic,
something in
different
my-
topic.
I have something in my notes like that.
Well, the logic was that the rocks get scared, so they harden up. That was what
Oh,
the
yeah.
idea was. And so I
So you're
said,
saying they're a living thing?
no.
Well, essentially, yeah, because
Viruses aren't living things. They still
Plants are living.
are like machines. You know, they still.
But you say it's scared as like an emotion thing.
Okay, so yeah, well, it has some. There's a catalyst for it to become hard
Mm-hmm.
when it's touched, but we don't have to. say
Kind of like a
it's-
plant. Like
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, so like what he was saying was like, well, there could be a way to like test, and he was saying like, oh, well, if the Earth's atmosphere is technically on the rock, right, making it hard. To test if it's not squishy, we would have to get it out of Earth's atmosphere.
into space. Into
Well, I
vacuum.
don't know though. I don't know what space.
Well,
No.
What kind of
remember
Is
like
I said
Earth
that-
just one floating rock?
Okay, that's another thing.
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying.
You
What
keep
he
on bringing
said
up
was-
different topics.
The only thing that doesn't resemble Earth's atmosphere, guys, this is not like we don't know anything we're talking about. We're just like
We're 19 years old. Like
yeah, we don't know anything.
Speak for yourself.
They are going to college. So
Sherwood's-
they might
Sherwood's
know a
really
little bit
smart.
more.
I'm not.
you're smart.
Us too.
I just
Under
work.
promise.
So
I don't even work right now.
What
We
he
get
was
money.
saying was, the only thing that doesn't really like resemble like Earth's atmosphere, so to say, is like sound waves, right?
Well, I was just saying that we could use sound waves to test it,
Yeah.
but there's no way to get a rock away from any kind of thing
Yeah,
touching
I
it.
guess
Any
so.
kind
I
of
guess
any
so.
kind of
But-
resistance, so there's no way.
But like so you could like use sound waves because obviously I don't know anything about sound waves other than they bounce differently. Like go in a studio, there's a bunch of foam. I'm assuming there's some kind of way to measure those sound waves. So if you made a big
Decibels.
room full of rocks and then a big room full of various squishy substances, which you could hypothesize resemble a rock, shoot sound waves and see whether or not they're similar in how you measure that. And then I'm assuming that rocks aren't squishy because they would have experienced that phenomenon by now. They would have seen, oh my gosh, look, we're in this room made of rock and it's really quiet because they're squishy and they're absorbing all the sound, but that's not the case.
No, think about it like this. What if you made it just a single room, right? And you put speakers all up. There's no like wall. It's only speakers. And then
A wall of speakers and a floor of speakers.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And somehow you were able to throw a rock up in the air and
And
shoot
hold it.
sound waves at it at the same time. And if it barely moves just a little bit, right? If you can see like the disformation of the rock,
The
that's probably not
distortion.
even a word.
The distortion.
Yeah, then technically rocks can be squishy, but I don't know.
I mean, you can melt rocks and it's squishy.
I mean, yeah. No,
Yeah,
Think
but like,
about it.
I mean, what
You can
do you mean
melt
by
anything.
sound waves is the only way of
Squishy
testing
things
it
are
with-
still solid. Something's melted
Yeah.
as a liquid.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
I mean,
okay. What do you mean about sound waves being the only thing that's like not resembling the Earth's atmosphere?
No,
'Cause
that
you
was
can
what
go
he
to-
said. I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah.
you can go to the vacuum of space and there's no atmosphere, no sound waves. You can't hear anything in space.
correct.
There's no sound waves. And so if we just have a rock in space, there's no air resistance, there's no gravity, no sound waves, nothing's
There's
bothering
still
it.
matter out there. It could be touching it, and that's really the issue: is things touching.
Yeah,
it.
it's like, what if matter makes it squishy or makes it hard? And there's matter everywhere. So technically,
So
if
we
you take
never
out
know.
Matter,
So we never know.
if you take out matter, then
There's
could
no
be
there's no
squishy.
way of testing it out because you
Well,
can
no.
there will
We
be
could
a
just
way.
say, yeah, it's formless because
Mhm.
yeah, everything gives everything else form. So if there's only one thing, and
Okay,
then yeah.
so it's a phenomenon we can't.
We can't.
We don't
test.
have a solution to.
Not yet.
No,
myth
we
busted.
can say it's not.
Busted.
We can say it's
Plausible.
not squishy because if you're gonna try to say, well, in a plane of existence where there is nothing that would be touching it, then you could say anything. You could say, well, rocks are living things. But
if a tree
they're
falls
just-
down and no one's there to see it, then make a noise kind of thing.
no, it just makes sound waves. They're only noises because they're interpreted through ears.
I think that's such a stupid question.
Yeah, it is, but
I think
really
that's like
stupid.
the
makes you
the
think.
tree falling. It's like, no, obviously it makes noise. Like if you think about it, everything in the earth makes noise. Maybe you can't hear it, but everything in the earth does make noise. Some sort
Maybe.
of noise.
Maybe.
I don't know.
That's my
But,
hand making noise.
yeah. Okay, so let's cross that one off. Where was that? Cross that one off.
Case closed.
What do you guys
Myth
think about
busted.
like manifesting destiny? So
It's
like if I
stupid.
say like, oh, I'm
it's
gonna,
it's stupid.
Like,
Okay,
3
well,
weeks
I gotta
ago-
hear what we mean by
yeah.
okay, so like 3 weeks ago, I was like, yo, I'm gonna start a podcast, right? Because I listen to lots of podcasts at work and stuff, and I was like, dude, I can definitely do that. Like, I could definitely like make a podcast like with my friends and just like talk about random stuff, you know. But like that's happening right now. Like I manifested, like, oh, I'm gonna make a podcast, and I manifested that.
Okay.
So do you think like if Oxley, you were gonna say like, oh, I'm gonna be a millionaire in less than 10 years?
That's more willpower, not really manifesting destiny.
that's
it's
the
just
thing.
like it's just your thought process.
It's
if
well,
you're like
you
I'm gonna
got
be a
something-
millionaire, and I mean it could be interpreted the same way, but I think when I think manifesting destiny is just wishful thinking.
Okay.
It's
That's
what
that's
I
how, that's
think
how I
of
interpret
destiny.
it. People can interpret it differently, but I interpret it as wishful thinking, and that's pretty much it. You have willpower and thought process of I want to be a millionaire, and so you do things to strive for that, but
Sure.
And
So-
when-
can't really manifest something out of the blue. You have
Are we
that
saying-
process towards like making that true.
Yeah.
We're saying trying to control your destiny, manifesting.
I'm just saying like if I really like put my mind to it, then it's gonna happen to me.
That's
Like,
just
it's gonna happen
dedication.
for me.
Putting your mind. Okay.
if you put your mind to it and you want to do it and it's a doable goal, that's
I
just
think
dedication.
destiny and dedication are two completely different things.
Of course.
Like, dedication, I can be
But-
dedicated at my work and get a raise,
Mhm.
but I'm not gonna like sit down and like literally think like, oh, I'm gonna get a raise. I'm not gonna like, you know, I don't know how to describe it, but like that's
as
probably
well.
the best way to describe it.
I think
You
of
can't
manifesting
manifest a
destiny
raise,
is
you
just
sit there at work and you're just like, I'm gonna get a raise.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you sit there and
Exactly
do
like
nothing.
that.
that's
You
what that's
can't
what I
do
think
that.
manifesting
It's
destiny is.
dedication.
It's just sitting there and
And
I think
wanting
it's just-
something and not doing anything.
not doing anything
Dedication
for
is
it.
wanting something and doing something
So you're
about
saying
it.
like
Or-
manifesting it.
Our
is-
issue is with how we define manifesting destiny.
That's true.
So, because if you say manifesting destiny is to put your mind to something and then act on it, then it's completely different, right? So I think, yeah, there's the issue.
Okay. I mean like
let me look up the definition of manifest.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We don't know.
Like a
basic
clear wait.
Just
So the verb that is an adjective and a verb. The verb is to display or show a quality or feeling by one's acts,
so
show a quality by your acts. So if you manifest something, it's not just
or
thinking.
appear. Like
Appear what?
like it just appears. Like
So,
one deity
if
manifested.
something appears a way, it's being perceived by someone else, which means you're probably acting a certain way, right? If it's appearing like you're,
When I think of manifest, I think
of manifesting a spirit. You know?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I want to manifest this spirit, and it's just like the spirit flies out of the table.
or like what Jake said with manifesting like a raise. You're just
Yeah.
sitting there and I want to get a raise and not doing anything about it.
yeah. I
Like-
don't know. I feel like manifesting destiny for me could be like the other day, I was like laying in my bed and I was like, we've all probably done this like as kids, like, oh, I want to be like successful. Maybe it's not something that I'm going to go out and do like at that moment, but it's like you always have that thought in your mind where you're like, oh, I know I'm going to be successful. Like I can see it in my mind. And over the years, like you kind of start being more successful until you get to that point where like, I am successful.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, I manifested that when I was young. It's not something that just appeared right now. Like you can't just pull that out of like thin air. It's like something that over time you're just like, oh, I'm gonna be good at this, and then over time, like, oh, I am good at this.
I feel like it's how you define manifest.
Yeah.
True.
Because actually, there was an experience 3 weeks before I broke my arm.
Podcast.
Pause.
There. Edit this out. Edit this out.
Pause.
No, we're not editing it out.
Yo, go back. Doing a podcast.
I know. We can watch.
No.
Dude, you guys are trying too hard.
Thanks.
Shut up, Eric.
I mean,
Oh, that's Eric?
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah, get that.
okay.
Okay, but no, when.
Resume.
Oh, one
Okay,
clap, sink it all.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay,
Sure.
we're back.
much work.
But what I was saying was, when I manifest destiny, like 3 weeks before, I was like, I need some time off. I'd be fine if I broke my arm right here. I'd be fine. It's like, and I was like, I would be fine if I broke an arm or a leg, and I was just like, right here. I just want some time off of work.
Yeah, like manifesting destiny
And it happens.
doesn't also, like, it doesn't have to be good. Like, one time, like, I was like, oh, well, I might get in a car crash today. And then, like, later that night, I was like, oh, some guy almost hit me. Like,
Yeah.
that's manifesting destiny, like, if you want to think of it like that. Like, even small stuff like that could be.
See,
manifesting.
even I would say stuff you can't control. Like you can manifest your destiny in that, but so like something if it's dedication, it's like I want to go get a job and have a nice house. That's just dedication. Like
Yeah.
you can manifest it, and that's just like a mindset, I guess.
Yeah.
But you can think about it, and if you have dedication, you can go do that. You can get that done because. Let's just say it's like if you try to manifest it and just sit around and be lazy all day and just
Yeah.
don't go to work, don't go to school, just.
I mean, you have to have both. You have to have like both mindsets and stuff. Like, yeah, I can manifest something, but I also have to work at it. It's not like it's just gonna like appear right in front of me.
Yeah, you can't manifest it and just have it appear out of nowhere.
I mean, that'd be sick.
That'd be
Yeah,
cool,
I mean,
but
like,
that's
it
not how
won't
real life
happen.
works.
Life would be so easy.
Life would be easy.
All right. Do you have anything?
What do you?
Yeah, I'd say manifesting something raises your chances of achieving it, but I also think that by manifesting something, and then it happening, you're more likely to kind of be delusional and like attributing your success to your manifestation. Like, I bet a lot of people every day have a lot of small thoughts like, maybe this will happen, maybe that, and then when it does happen, they're like, whoa, I thought about that earlier. And even though they thought about 20 different things and only one of them happened, they're like, manifest destiny.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
So-
horoscopes.
True.
That's how I
Rocks.
think. They think
The rocks.
they think about it in the small, like they read a horoscope and think about it in the smallest way, and then they see something that slightly resembles it, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh my goodness, that happened! My horoscope's true."
I don't even know like what I
You
am.
will breathe today.
Yeah, or like something new will happen today.
Broad,
and like
applicable.
yeah, it's
Oh.
super applicable, and so like people just think of any small thing to think about, like how that applied to them. And
Yeah, like I don't even know like what my sign is or something. I don't know if I believe.
I'm a Capri Sun.
I don't know if I like believe in like
I'm
the
an
time
Aerodactyl.
the time of the month you're born is like contributes to like your personality. I
It
don't.
definitely
That
does.
was a Babylonian.
It was
As
a
soon as you
Babylonian, it was a
it's
Babylonian
Babylonian
religion.
I don't believe that because
It's-
I used to be
people-
shy as hell back in like middle school, and same with you, right?
We were the same.
I
way.
disagree.
No,
I disagree.
think about it like this. Think about it like this.
I'll listen to you.
I have
I'll tell you why
started to
you're wrong.
change my personality to not care what other people think about me. So I don't care, like, about anything. Like, if you don't like me, so what?
So-
I don't care. I probably don't like you back. You know? So it's like
Yeah.
that doesn't mean like, just because of I was born November 1st doesn't mean like, oh, you were gonna like change your personality type. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, Jaden.
Well,
But as soon as you learn that people who are born on November 1st are more likely to have certain character traits, now it's affected you. And whether or not you avoid those things or are attracted to them, it still affected you. And you could say, hasn't affected me at all? Well, as long as you've thought about it, it has. So
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
I
Jaden.
mean,
If you're born on November 1st, let me know, and we can become friends and see if we're compatible.
Opposites attract,
If
though.
we're not, it's because of the stars.
true. The stars are laughing for us. Sorry
Something like
about
that.
that. But I was gonna say, I used to in elementary. I would say 3 words a day max, and you
Yeah.
remember that.
I remember that.
But
Like,
it was
The
hard
shyest
for me.
kid ever, like, wouldn't even talk to the teachers at all, and then, like, we got to middle school, and he's just like,
I'm not even joking.
his
A teacher would
personality-
ask me a question, I would just sit there like this.
That seems like
personality
Jake.
absolutely blossomed, and now
Never
everyone
live
loves him.
happened.
So, what a guy. All right. Do
Thank you.
you have anything? He said something.
I'm good. I just think, what about?
Well, I
the
got a couple
horoscopes?
more stuff.
I mean, we
But
could
do you
talk
have, like,
about
a-
horoscopes for a little
Do you have like
bit.
a what if question? Or like a would you rather question? Because those are fun.
Let me see.
Hair for teeth
That
or
has
teeth for
something
hair?
to do with.
That has something to do with this podcast.
Hair for
That
teeth
has
or teeth for
something to do
hair?
with this podcast.
Hair for teeth, easier to cut.
Hair for teeth or what?
Teeth for hair.
But then you have to drink
Okay.
everything. But you're like a whale.
You eat with
It-
your
it-
hair?
Whale have, like,
You
hair
just
for
like
teeth.
smash it on your head.
No, it like your teeth would be
Actually,
on
that'd be
your head.
badass.
Your teeth or
I'll do-
hair would be on your teeth.
I'll do teeth on my head. That's badass. Think about it.
Bro, imagine
Yeah, I also
headbutting
hate
someone.
Dinosaur.
But you have to brush. You have to
Headbutting
brush
someone, bro.
your hair.
Yeah.
Like
No,
with a
because
toothbrush.
it's the environment that
Bro,
makes
you
your mouth
could-
dirty. Being dark and wet, your head wouldn't be dark and wet. So
I
you
mean,
wouldn't-
sweat.
Well, you already sweat and your hair doesn't get super dirty.
Okay, but no,
it's-
think about this. Like, don't you hate like when hair gets in your mouth?
That's the
But I
worst.
mean, but like if you lived with it the entire
Yeah.
time, then it's
If
fine.
you were to
until you're
change
used
right
to it.
now,
No,
Oh, changing
absolutely.
right now? I don't know.
I
Dude,
think
I'll
that's
kill
the-
myself.
Get the sander.
I just well,
If you have teeth on your head, you can
Sander down
nickname
up
the
here.
Iron Man.
That's how I'm cutting my
Iron
hair.
Helmet, and you just have.
let's get a belt
Kids, wait, I
sander.
have a question about this. Do your teeth get longer like
Yeah.
hair?
Yeah, but
Oh,
not
so
like
you have-
not like long and.
So do you have to go to
loose.
the dentist to get a haircut? And the barber
No,
to
you
get your
need-
teeth?
uh,
to get your teeth
You know how
trimmed?
they like trim elephant toenails?
like with a big
No, it's like a freaking saw. Like, grind
oh
it off.
gosh. Dude, I'd definitely
I
get
think
the
so.
like the top just straight.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Just get a buzz cut.
I mean, like,
It'd be a buzz
are
cut.
the teeth wavy or like hair, or is it or the teeth?
Are they like malleable so like you can like?
It wouldn't be
switch it up?
malleable. No, it would be same
Just
characteristics as teeth.
so hard?
So imagine all your molars just on your head as hair.
Fair enough.
I mean, you only have like how many teeth like in there?
No, no.
But to say
It
like your
replaces
whole
hair.
yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, you guys want to talk about the juicy stuff?
Yeah.
What?
Nice
Sure.
and juicy stuff.
I mean,
you guys don't have to even talk. Like, I'm
we
just gonna
we
talk
can
about this.
we can save some of that stuff later
We-
too.
No, this is what the podcast is about.
Yeah, that's true. Let's do
This is
this.
government
Yeah.
assassinations. That
Mhm.
the government doesn't want you to know about this stuff, guys.
Bigfoot.
Okay, so you guys probably haven't even heard of this guy, but his name was Stanley Meyer, right? And I doubt that anyone has ever heard of this. I mean, if you look into it, you probably will. But he basically, I don't know if he made an engine, but he was able to make a
That's
car
something.
run on water.
I've seen
Made
this.
it
Yeah.
Pure
He made-
water.
Yep.
And he claimed that he could get from New York to LA in 22 gallons of water. Now, that's like, you use 22 gallons of water like in a shower. So like, that is incredible. And scientists said like this is impossible, like absolutely impossible. There's no way you could have done. And I think this was in like the 80s or something.
90s,
like that.
something
No,
like
it
that.
Something
was,
like that.
it was 90s, early 2000s.
It was like before the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even
So-
2010s. I don't know.
No, it was 90s.
But I did see that, and he was talking about it.
Wait. So obviously, like when you make an invention like that, like you want to patent it, right? Like, you want to make that your own, and then companies will pay you to use that method, right? So he was meeting with these people that were able to get patents out and like investors and stuff to like see if he wanted to like sell his inventions, right? So he meets with these two Belgian investors and they go to dinner. So it's these two Belgian investors and Stanley Meyer and his brother. So they go, they eat, whatever, and then on the way to the car, I believe on the way to the car, he like started puking and stuff. And his brother was like, yo, are you good? And he's like, they poisoned me. That's what he said. He said, they poisoned me, right? And he died from like this poison. And basically like when the police showed up and they like did a report, they said that he died of, he said he might have died of high blood pressure, and that he was ruled to have died of cerebral, of a cerebral aneurysm, which is like when your blood vessels like blows up and pops and you basically die like a horrible death.
In your brain, right? Cerebral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Your brain explodes.
basically, the people think that like, oh, the government had him assassinated. Because bro, think about it. If he was able to make a car run on water, that puts the entire gasoline industry like out of business. Like the economy would absolutely tank.
Why?
Because like,
No
if I
one
can
would
use
buy
water
gas.
for my
No
car,
one would-
no one would have to go buy gas. Like,
But, I mean, they could
Okay.
jack up the prices of water for that too. Then, and they
Okay,
could
yeah,
they
but
could make it
water's-
work. But like,
water's
It's-
so much more accessible than gasoline.
oh yeah,
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 but
it
the
is.
method by which the water is used to create energy could have some other factors which cost money. It's
I
not
mean,
just
true,
the
but
water.
think about it.
Because the water
This
is...
guy built it in a garage.
Yeah, he built it in a garage like Tony Stark. Like
Tony
esque.
Stark in a cave.
he built it in a cave. He built it in a cave.
Yeah.
sorry guys. We had to get
We had to
a
get
little
that.
professional.
So like his notes were like, oh, science was like, there's no way, like we need to see our notes, and he was like, everyone was like wanting to see these guys' notes, and when he died, they like released all of his notes, and then apparently it's able to work, but no like car manufacturers like tried to do it.
Well,
Because
yeah,
they're-
okay.
I thought the
Think
notes
about
disappeared.
it. If you're using water to create energy, I'm assuming it has something to do with it going from water to steam and then back to water again, which means you could reuse the same ounce of water over and over again. So it's
Yeah.
not a matter of we need a certain amount of water. It's a matter of what else are we doing that's heating up this water, I'm assuming, or something like that that's also being used to create energy.
Yeah, I'll like throw up a video of his notes on the screen, but this
What-
is basically what it looks
What's
like.
his name?
Stanley Meyer.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's called the water fuel cell. If anyone you want to like look into it. Alright, Jeff,
Okay. I'll continue.
Yeah.
But I used to stay in what used to be the playroom at our old house. And pretty much every night I would go crying to my mom to go sleep in her bed. And whenever one night she asked, what about why was I so sad? It's like the little boy in the corner with red eyes would always be mean to me because I wouldn't play. And she's like, the little boy in the corner with the red eyes? And I was like, yeah, but that's not the scary part. It's the dark shadow behind him that's the scary part.
So this is in your old house.
This is in my old house. And
You wake up in the morning doing this.
I'd wake up in the middle of the night and apparently a little white boy was in the corner of my room. I was so young, I could not have made this up.
So wait, were you like conscious? Like were you just sleepwalking?
No, I was conscious.
So, like,
So-
you literally like seen it like sleep paralysis kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
obviously you weren't paralyzed.
Yeah. So I would see him in the corner, and it was a little pale white boy with red eyes and a huge dark shadow behind him.
Did you recognize him?
A bit aggressive.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, so that's pretty much it for that story. Because we had to move the bed into the corner of the room where he was always sitting, and because he would always want to play, and because I never wanted to play because he was so mean,
Yo.
and it was
I told me this earlier, like when
I
I
love
Yeah.
No, I love you like believe shit like that.
no
Oh
like
no, I think demons are real.
100%.
I
I believe it was a dark spirit because
I don't necessarily believe like I don't know, like actual people are like here, but I feel like you can have some illusion to where you feel it's real, and like you obviously
An illusion. It's called delusion.
yeah.
well, I mean,
No, but I don't know. I don't ever like discredit myself.
do you guys
I
ever
feel,
see?
I feel like there's 100% like people get possessed. 100%
Yeah.
believe that there's actual like dark spirits on Earth in certain places. I don't have any personal experience with it,
Yeah.
but there's people that D has.
I've had a decent bit.
Yeah, and there's other things like that too, but
It's like-
it's like if God exists,
I've
then
had
demons have to
sleep
exist,
paralysis,
too.
and I've had people
You
staying
think?
at the end of
Yeah.
my bed.
Why?
Me too.
Well, I mean, it's in the Bible.
I'll see them and I'll lean up and they're gone.
No.
And it's not
yeah.
sleep paralysis because I'd be
Like-
sitting there and I would see people in the corner,
No,
but
like one time, I was like, this was junior year of high school, right? So I'm like, I'm not stupid, right? I'm not like a little kid.
yep.
Not saying little kids are stupid, just saying like, I'm more conscious of like my dreams and stuff. And I was laying like, you know how like you lay on your side?
Mhm.
I was laying on my side and I just I opened my eyes. I don't know what time this was, but I opened my eyes and in the back corner of my room, I just see just a figure.
figure.
I don't
It's
know
a dark
if it was,
figure.
like a girl or a guy or what. I just saw like a dark figure,
Don't see
and
me.
I saw white eyes. Like, you know, in like kids' TV shows, how they're in like the darkness, and you see like
The
eyes,
whites
like,
of the
bats'
eyes.
and stuff, and they're a different color than the dark. That's what it looked like, and I just remember I always like couldn't move, and I was just like, dude, I don't know if I can go to sleep after this. Like,
No.
I'm gonna have to wait like until the sun comes up, and who knows, it'll still be there.
See,
But I just like remember like shutting my eyes and I was like, it's not there. It's not. Nothing's there. And I just remember I like couldn't. I don't know if I tried to move, but I just remember I didn't move. So maybe I was having sleep paralysis. Maybe not. Maybe I was just like tripping. But
yeah.
I don't know. It's just. And then I woke up and just went to school the next day. So
In the old house, if you remember, we used to see spirits just like walking across. Like do you remember where my main living room was?
yeah,
Like if you look back, you could see all the way back to the main entrance.
yeah.
Like see people walking and stuff like out the corner of your eye. Like you'll be looking over there, and you'd see every time. You'd see people. You could see black shadows walking. You see at the end of the hallway.
seeing something like that.
I remember
At my
you telling
house.
me like we were in, I don't know, but we didn't go to the school we all went to for high school. Like we were probably in like elementary school.
Yeah, but as well as I would always, every time when I was home alone, it was terrifying because I would always see them. And so, do you remember I'd play Xbox in the main room?
Yeah.
I would literally, I would turn off Xbox, turn on something, and I would face my back to the TV and just sit there and watch because I could not handle it because I was scared someone's going to come up behind me.
Sometimes you were scared to just like go to your bed at night, like after we
Oh.
were playing Xbox or something, like you would just sleep on the couch because it was like, dude, there's stuff probably back there. Who
Yeah,
knows? Dude,
it
who
was
knows?
terrifying.
So what were you asking, Sherwood?
Oh, I was gonna say it's interesting. Just thinking about that kind of idea, like the idea that there's other conscious beings, we'll call them, right, spirits, and then that there's good or bad ones. And I think it's interesting because if you look at events or whatever, let's just say like events involved in the formation of the world, like you could say, well, like what causes the moon to orbit the Earth, but you can't say like why does it orbit the Earth, because that's like a question that involves consciousness, right? Like a reason rather than a cause. And when you're talking about beings, then you can ask that question. You can say why rather than what is the cause. And so I think if you think about like, so I saw a spirit and it looked like this or it did this, it's so much more interesting than we discovered a new species, because rather than just saying why is it like this, or rather than just saying what caused it, we can say why, because it's a conscious being, like, you know, so we claim. And I just think that I mean, if you look, I'm sure you could do research, and like in every culture they've created some kind of demon or whatever, and in doing so there's parts of that demon that resemble their culture. Like, I'm sure when you saw that boy, he was wearing clothes or something. Now he's naked.
No, he had like, I mean, like, I'm sure he had like, I don't remember what he looked
had
like.
like a Western style to him.
Well, like,
Yeah,
he
he
wasn't
was-
wearing like some like
Some,
ancient
like-
armor or some crap, right?
not-
It relates
not
to
like,
our current
yeah,
culture.
but I barely remember. Like, I see faint
Okay,
glimpses.
but you know he wasn't like dressed up in like a
And so-
poncho
or, like-
a sombrero or something like that. Like
Jeez.
full Mexican culture.
So that suggests
or
either-
like, yeah, and
So that suggests a couple things. It could be, well, part of it's just us imagining something, right? Or they're altering their appearance or whatever according to who they're being seen by. But I think, I guess pulling that all together, and evil beings, good beings, or whatever, I think we can't understand something that we haven't experienced. And I think that, like, if you look back 100 years ago, there would have been no way to, like, comprehend something before it was discovered, pretty much. And so I think that these are all just kind of wild guesses. And I think I don't like to do that. It's just too tiring. I'd rather just be like, well, it's more the principle. Like,
Yeah, if you've never seen it, then how can I believe it?
well,
If I've never
like
seen
what
how
form
can I
it takes,
do that?
everything about it. It's like, it's just it. I'd rather just keep it simple and when it comes to evil spirits, whatever, just look at the principles and say, well, if something is, the only thing that we know is that it has those characteristics that we deem are evil. And so, I don't know. This hurts the
I
brain.
don't know. It's kind of like a weird topic to talk about.
It is.
I like, in my opinion, I think like the Bible's true and God exists. And so if God exists, that means hell exists, and that means demons exist, and that like kind of
Yo, have you ever thought about like
that part.
like
No.
every culture from before like us right now have all had some kind of like thought or like I guess thought's like the best word of like a god. So there's always been like some sort of god that some people have worshipped since the beginning of time, like beginning of humans. Like they all worshipped something, which means we're all born with like that innate thought of like, oh, there's something else, something
bigger than us.
supreme out there, which is so weird because like atheists now, they're just like, no, we don't believe that, but you're born with it. You're born with like the thought that there is something out there.
How would you explain agnostic then? Like being agnostic.
Is that being
That's
unsure?
just believing
That's just like
there
there's-
is something, but you don't know what
Yeah,
it is.
I honestly think that if you're not going to pick a religion, the smartest thing to do is to be agnostic, because to either deny the existence of God or claim that it can only be one it's like cutting off the possibility to learn anything new. You know,
Yeah.
it's like who's to say that like God, like there's not some logical factor to God. Like he has to be some irrational being that can't be explained through science. Like
Yeah.
like to assume that, it's stupid in my opinion, because we don't know. We just don't know
Yeah.
until the future.
Yeah, and I feel like God to someone that's trying to learn about like a religion or something, it's like it's all relative to where you're like to what you think. So like if I was like trying to figure out what religion I should belong to, not saying I want to be atheist, like I want to learn about religion.
Mhm.
It's all like relative to like where your standpoint is in life and what you think you can believe to be true. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So like
I know what you mean.
like Christians, we all believe that like Jesus is the only like the Son of God and there's only one God. But maybe you're growing up and say, well, maybe there isn't one God. Like then you would think of a religion that has tons of gods, you know?
Mhm.
And maybe you can belong to that religion. Like not saying that religion has to be just like classified. Just because if you grew up and like your family's a Christian doesn't mean that you have to be a Christian. That's the only thing that's right. It can be just relative to what you think.
Mhm.
So
I think religion's a weird topic.
yeah.
It's a fun topic. Well, like not fun.
It's
topic,
just
but, like,
interesting.
it's an interesting topic.
And it's kind of complex.
Yeah.
Because none of us really know what's out there.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's just we're just having faith in a certain thing we are completely unsure of. Unless, there's people that experience it, and other people can like scientifically back it up, move it away from religion. But other people who are religious are like, no, like this happened,
And we always love the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fact.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're gonna end it there.
We're gonna end it.
How were we
Alright.
at?
Okay. Wait, you gotta.
Watching, listening, whatever. We don't really care about the quality. Like this is our first time doing this, so obviously it's gonna get better and better every episode.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching the first and final episode of the podcast.
Three new
Guys,
people.
dudes.
3 new people next episode. All these guys' links will be down in the description. I'll probably just link their Instagrams. If you guys want to go follow them, go for it. And follow the podcast Instagram. We'll also link that one down. So yeah, let us know if you have any cool theories or things to talk about. So yeah, all right. See ya.